Hi everyone. So tomorrow is the beginning of Libra season, as well as the fall equinox here in the US, spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Libra energy. And just a reminder that anytime I talk about the energies, if it is your sun sign, that does not mean that that's all that you are. Um, you have planets in all different signs, and those planets affect you and are part of your makeup. So this our sun sign, which is what people typically know their sun sign. Your sun sign is your core essence, but there is so much more to you. So within astrology, as we look at ourselves through that lens, there are so many different aspects to it. And so many different layers, and that's why I love it, because it sort of blends all of these energies together in us. And it's not just like a personality test that puts us in kind of a narrow box. It really puts a unique perspective on every single person. We see all these different pieces working together, and it makes us all so very different, yet so very connected, because we're made up of these same energies. So I just wanted to throw that out there again as a little reminder as I talk about Libra energy. So Libra is all about balance, and it is, symbolized by the scales, and the scales often represent justice, and Libra can see both sides of the story equally. My good friend out there, Cam, always uses the conjunction and rather than but, really embodying this Libra energy of both perspectives are equally valid. Um, it's not one person thinks something, but the other person thinks something else. It's and. We all come from a different experience, and everyone's experience is valid. And that valid experience will influence your perspective. So your perspective is also valid. When we recognize that, then we say and, which just sees them both, sees both sides, and tries to bring justice and unite those sides, right? And help them to see each other's perspective. So I took a little workshop on emotional intelligence as it relates to conflict resolution. And that is something that we were taught to do, is to say and, in order to help to solve a conflict, to help both parties to see that both perspectives were valid. And that is kind of the first step in solving conflict. So that is what Libra does. Thank you, Libra. We need that energy so much right now. And it is the season where we will all be influenced by it. So I hope that that really happens. And that we are open to that energy and we can all be influenced by it. Sort of a challenging aspect to Libra is that Libra sees both sides so well that sometimes they have a hard time making a choice. So they can see that, one option for their life of something they want to do would be so fabulous, and then so would this other thing. And so they have a hard time kind of sticking to one choice and making that happen. They can kind of veer away from it and start going in another direction. So it takes some discipline to choose a path when everything looks amazing and everything looks like it would be a great choice, and you can see all sides. It's hard to just pick one thing. So that is kind of the challenging energy of Libra. So you might feel a little bit of that too, of that, wow, how do I decide? I have so many options. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I hope that's the case. but we'll have to buckle down and have some discipline. So that Libra energy is coinciding with the equinox, as it always does, because they go hand in hand. So the equinox, of course, is also very balanced. It's equal night and day, light and dark. And it's when the temperature sort of shifts too. It goes from an extreme, either extreme heat or extreme cold, into a more balanced temperature and a more balanced experience that we're having of the world with our senses and what we feel. And what we see too, right? The sun changes, the angle of the sun changes, and it's more even, it's less extreme. So that's this sort of Libra balance as well, of kind of, finding the middle. And I wanted, as I was thinking about this, to also bring up the importance of really connecting to seasons, connecting to all of these cycles. A lot of people who talk about any sort of, energetic healing or energy practice refer to these cycles. They refer to the moon cycles, the seasons, all of these different changes. And as the, sun moves into different constellations, we talk about that energy, right? And why? Well, because that is kind of the bridge. That is the uniting of this spiritual, unseen energy with the physical world as these cycles. That's what connects us to this energy, and that's what's influencing this energy. They're really inseparable from each other. And as we sort of, connect to these cycles of the earth, then our spiritual practice and our energetic practice is grounded in the physical world. So it's no longer two different things. It's no longer, our physical experience and our spiritual experience. They're really brought together because that is how the spiritual manifests in the physical world, in these cycles and these shifts. So as we allow ourselves to experience those cycles and as we are open to them, we feel these energy shifts and we feel these changes. And rather than standing firm in our one ego identity that we hold to, we cycle with the earth. And we allow these different energies to flow through us, and that connects us to the earth. It makes us a part of a whole. And as we feel ourselves as a part of that whole, as a part of these cycle changes, then we kind of start to feel the magic of the earth and feel how the earth provides for us in this very spiritual way. That is when we kind of start to experience these synchronicities, because we really feel and believe that we are a part of this whole, and that's what we identify with. And as we need things, then the earth provides it in a really amazing, synchronistic way as we connect to these cycles, as we really believe that our physical experience is completely tied to this energetic, spiritual experience. And that is when we can kind of practice these rituals, right? These rituals of remembering and marking the seasons. And that is really what all religion and spirituality does, is it marks these certain turning points in the year, and these definitive marks within the year that are so tied to the seasons. But if we can really celebrate those and feel ourselves a part of it, then it grounds our spiritual practice. And it grounds us in the energies so that we can really flow with them. There are very simple ways that we can do that we can connect to these different changes and these different cycles, rather than resisting them, to flow with them. It's a really simple one here, as it's getting colder, is rather than feeling like, oh, it's uncomfortable, I need to turn on the heat immediately. Can you allow your body to sort of adjust to the temperature slowly? Can you be a part of this experience? Because your body will adjust, and just allow yourself to kind of feel into it, to feel that cold and to just be okay with it. Can you go out under the moon when it's full, but also when it's dark, to embrace all of the phases and all of the cycles? Can you be outside in all kinds of weather and really connect to the earth that way? Can you be a part of these cycles and allow them to influence you? As you do, as you allow these physical changes to influence you, the energies do as well. You shift, your energy shifts with these physical shifts in really amazing ways. And also you get more in tune with your own intuition, because that goes along with going with this flow. Your intuition is really influenced by that. So I just wanted to encourage everybody at this time, as these two things are happening simultaneously. It's a really good time to point it out, that really these earth cycles are so connected to the energies we feel. So much love to everyone, and I hope that you enjoy this Libra season and this sort of evening out of energy.